Disclaimer: the following video is not an endorsement of any career path, institute, or company. The intention of the video is to bring personal experiences of Bschool students to help MBA aspirants understand their journey. The views and opinions expressed in the interview are solely those of the individuals.
Hello all, welcome to Short Tutor, where we break down business fundamentals in easy to understand concept. We are back again with another episode of the series MBA to Corporate. In today's episode, we have Mr. Anish here, who recently graduated from IIM Mumbai. He did his internship from Birla Opus Spain, later securing a PPO. He also had an opportunity to become part of an international immersion program. In today's episode, he'll be sharing his experience with respect to this program. With that being said, let's delve into Anish. Hi Anish, how are you?
Hi Stanley, I'm good. What about you?
I'm also good, Anish. So Anish, I would like to know, which Bschool did you choose for an international immersion program and what was the program?
So this was a Bschool named Emlyon Business School in France. So it's in Lyon, and they offer immersion programs on various topics like innovation within planetary boundaries, wine marketing, and even several others. So I decided to opt for the innovation within planetary boundaries module, which is related to sustainability.
Okay, is there any reason that you applied for this particular program?
Yeah, personally, I had a chance, I worked in the automotive domain and I had a chance to deal with EVs and you could say sustainability is something which really fascinates me. So that's why it really aligned with my profile as well. So it was easier for me to, justify that why I want to do a course related to sustainability.
So what was the duration of this program, Anish?
So this is a 2 to 4 weeks program. So we went for around 2 weeks, and this is an in-class program. So we have to go and attend classes, as well as they had planned several industry visits. So we went to a few museums. We saw, and other than that, they also gave us projects, and we had to work on our own personal group project. So which we can talk about it.
So Anish, you mentioned that this particular immersion program was an in-class course. So what does that mean? And is there any other type of immersion program?
So usually these immersions and exchange programs are classified into two broad categories. So that it may be attending programs or non-attending programs. So non-attending programs per se, meaning that there may not be any attendance requirement. And a lot of courses and modules may be available online, so the student can learn at their own pace. All the meanwhile, so it is a very good opportunity for students to roam around Europe. So this is one of the main reasons of choosing Europe, as well as the Schengen visa that we get. So this actually, since it encompasses so many countries, so people get a Europass and they try to roam around and see as many places as possible in whatever short time they have. So for me personally, since I went for a shorter duration, my goal was to experience the French culture, as well as their teaching methodologies, as well as whatever group projects we had. So all this was happening offline. So we were going to classes regularly. We even had some corporate visits as well as museum visits. So this is something which I really wanted to immerse myself into, and that's why I personally preferred this attending course.
So yours was an attending course.
Yes.
So you had to attend the classes more often.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a doubt though. For non-attending courses, you mentioned that they are free to roam around, right? And there is no attendance requirement. So my doubt is that should they come to the country or they can do it from the distance?
I mean, it depends from college to college, but you have most of the colleges, they want you to come, and it is like a very big opportunity for a student. So students usually want to come, and they'll usually keep their luggage somewhere they want, and they'll use this opportunity to see the world with their friends as much as possible, and which at the end helps them only. So I feel these courses are attending, in a way you have to go to the country with which your college has partnered with.
Okay, got it. So one more doubt though. You mentioned that this was particularly the case for you since it was an immersion program. So this factors in for exchange program as well, right? Both
it's true for
attending and non-attending.
So I went to Emlyon Business School. So Emlyon Business School offers both exchange as well as immersion for our students, as well as with all other B schools. They have partnership, and so is this case for several other B schools that we have partnered with.
Okay, I understand. So Anish, since we are talking about immersion program and exchange program, so what is the major difference between them two?
So the main difference usually boils down to the duration of the program. So immersion program is usually about 2 to 4 weeks, while an exchange program will be significantly longer. from about 2 to 4 months. It's usually an entire semester or a trimester with the partner Bschool. And in terms of the structure also, for an immersion program, it is a lot more pre-planned. So like your classes, courses, visits, projects, they have to be compressed for a shorter duration to give that local culture and immersive experience. While the exchange program is a bit more laid back, you can experience the foreign partner Bschool as a student from that Bschool would.
So, Anish, why did you personally choose an immersion program over an exchange program for this particular?
So for me, it was actually a combination of several factors. First one being the financial aspect of it. So usually if you want to stay for a longer duration, so it is usually much more expensive and even time consuming as well. So coming to me, so for me, I personally didn't have the scope to go out and stay for that long. So as well as I didn't have to miss any classes here, so I could attend all my classes, and this was some buffer that we got to attend this immersion program. And other than that, it would be like since my ultimate dream was to go out and come back with like I was already like taking a substantial loan to study, so I didn't want to extend my loan further. So that's why I wanted to complete the trip in a like much lesser expense. So that's why I decided to. And one more interesting tidbit was like Olympics were just about to come up during that time. So usually I would have like definitely wanted to personally see the Olympics, but since that was not possible, so at least I wanted to visit Paris during that time. So in that way, so like I felt ki like if I'm going at least for that duration, so that will help me see some other version of Paris which I usually would not be able to see.
That's wonderful. So, but Anish, I have another clarification that I wanted to do. So, you mentioned that during the immersion program, you are not missing what is being taught back home, right? That 2 to 4 weeks you are going away. So, where you provided attendance, what was the scenario?
So yes, usually, so just like an exchange program, immersion program, we also got credits for our immersion program. So, and the college was also accommodative enough to provide us with attendance. And usually also like there is credit transfer system. So there's usually no attendance or credit issue. So most of the things are pre-planned and the process is also smooth.
Okay, understand. So now coming to the entire selection process, since you did an immersion program with Emlyon, we wanted to know what was the selection criteria and what process you had to go through for the entire application.
So the process is just like at most of the IIMs. So usually the initial filtration is done using your term 1 grades. So based on your CGPA as well as the extracurriculars that you have to submit an SOP related to the Bschool that you are going to, related to the program that they are offering. Here it was related to sustainability. So based on your SOP evaluation, the final selection is done by the college as well as the international exchange.
So Anish, once the selection process is over, what is the next procedure?
So once your name has been nominated to go to the partner Bschool, usually you have to take care of 2 things. One being your visa as well as your finances. So for visa, you mostly need most of your domicile documents, bank statements, whatever relevant, what your citizenship relevant documents you need. And coming to finances, so you can either self-finance it or extend your loan. And most of the amount you have to show it as your bank balance when you are applying for your visa.
Okay, so when you are talking about the visa application process, right? So you applied it from your own end, right? Is there a scenario where the home institute helps you apply for the visa?
So it actually depends from college to college. So some colleges may have their own international exchange office where they'll provide you with some level of support related to the visa documentation. But usually the biometric and submitting all the documents, so this has to be taken care by the student itself.
Okay. So one more doubt, Anish. So you said that you applied for the Schengen visa during the Olympics, right? And I remember reading news articles saying that a lot of Schengen visas were rejected during that time. So did you face any difficulties as such as a student?
So me personally, I did not face any such issue. However, actually, a friend of mine who has also applied for the Schengen visa. So even though he had all his documents in order, so like his visa was rejected initially, and they had given some 4 or 5 grounds for rejection. But upon reviewing, actually he realized that he like those grounds were not really valid to reject him because he had submitted all the correct documents. So he decided to challenge the decision, and luckily the consulate actually reached out to him. And they called him back, and his visa was approved. So they resent the decision,
Okay.
and which proved out to be good for him because he was able to
So how did he challenge the decision? Like, did he
actually,
contact him?
yeah. So usually they, if your passport is getting signed, so they'll actually stamped, so they'll actually send it to you by post. But if there is some issue, there's a high chance that you'll be called to the consulate office to collect your passport.
Okay.
So once you're going there, so with that only they'll give you a letter, so that will have the reasons, and you can reach out to them. So if you don't agree with the decision of being rejected, so you can directly reach out to them, mail them, and if they feel that there is a chance to rescind the decision, they'll consider it. Otherwise, they'll not respond.
Okay. So there is a high chance of getting the visa if all the documents are clear from your end.
Yes. So from your end, your job should be to prepare all the documents in advance and be ready so that when they are calling for the biometric, so you don't have to resubmit or redo anything. So that your process will be much smoother and faster.
Got it, Anish. So Anish, let's fast forward to when the immersion program started. Let's talk about the experience there. How was a day in your life when you were at France?
So coming to a typical day in life, so we would usually have around 3 to 4 hours of classes daily. So we stayed around like 20 to 30 minutes by car from college. However, we took public transport, which took us around 40 minutes. So I used to get up around at 7, and we used to reach college by 8. And then we used to have some snacks, and then we used to have classes from 8:30 till about 11:30. Then we used to go for a break. Then after that, after having lunch and all, we would start our classes back at around 1:30. And from there, till evening, we would either have our group projects. So we'd sit for a group project discussion, or we would have some kind of presentation. And then finally in the evening, so if you want to hang out with the students, we had people from several B schools coming there, obviously, and they were across the world, you could say. And if you wanted to enjoy the nightlife, you can go out to clubs, you can party, or you can hang out, you can enjoy the cafe culture, or you can go sightseeing. So there are a lot of things to do in the evening. And then finally, of course, you can prepare, come back and sleep, and then get ready for the next day.
Okay, I think that's a great experience from your point of view. So something that stood out, you mentioned that the particular college ride, right? It was like 20 to 30 minutes via car, but you turned out taking the bus. So is there a particular reason why?
Yeah, actually, by car it took much lesser time, like hardly 15 minutes. But for us, from the first day itself, actually we got a transport pass, so which actually let us travel Lyon free for a few days. So actually that one good thing about the public transport in Europe, which I actually got to see, was like how interoperable it was. So the same pass I could use for bus, subway, train, everything. So whatever is run by the same bus operator.
Okay, so was this pass part of the immersion program? So how did you get it?
Yeah, it was. So this is something that Emlyon provided us complimentary to students, and then of course it was only for a few days, and rest we extended it. So you can, it's like around 7 to 8 euros when I went, or an entire day pass. So you can travel.
So you're free to use any public transport during this?
Any public transport, in the sense, yeah, buses and tram, subways, whatever they had.
Okay. So Anish, you're coming from an Indian B school. So going there for the immersion program in France, what is something different that you have experienced?
So there are quite a lot of things actually. So since this immersion program is more focused towards giving a localized experience, so college had actually organized a local dinner with us, with the faculties of the Emlyon Global School. So we had a comprehensive 3-4 hour dinner plan, from entree to the appetizers. So which was something which I would never have dreamed of, here. And it was the entire 5-course meal, the professors were very graceful, so they called us to their own home, and we and they treated us like family. So we exchanged ideas, so that really helped us in knowing more about their culture. And one more thing was like how diverse their classes were. So like this for the summer schools program, usually like people from all across the world try to enroll for these. So we had like all kinds of people from like 21-year-old freshers to like 55-year-old business owners, all from different part of the country. So we had like finance heads, associate directors at several multinational companies. We had students, and then among them even we had students like us also. So at the end, like whatever discussions we had, whatever topics were being discussed, whatever points people were putting forward were like really helped me get a new perspective on how people different, like who are at a different stage than me think. And at the end, like it really helped in giving me confidence as well as get a bit more perspective.
So Anish, I would like to know what are some of the biggest key takeaways from this entire immersion program?
So some key takeaways for me from this immersion program would be, first of all, going to a new country, to in an entirely new setting and trying to figure things out by yourself and your friends, of course. The kind of confidence boost it gives you once you're finally successfully able to complete the program and come back is something which is very much invaluable, and I don't think it's possible to learn in some other setting. And one more thing would be the how different a lot of things were from here, like how collaborative the class environment was. So we were told to work on our own group projects, obviously, and then come up with some social welfare solutions. But we were also specifically mentioned to work like among groups as well. As a group, we were supposed to share our ideas amongst each other and see how each of our ideas will will benefit the other person, and in that way that actually helped us in refine our ideas and make them better.
So it is a within the group collaboration.
Yes, so we are collaborating amongst ourselves, and inter-group also we are collaborating to incorporate some small idea. So that actually at the end helped us in seeing, like when you're competing also, like collaboration at the end helps you in some way, and it's actually beneficial for you only at the end. So that would be
Anish, international exposure is one of the biggest takeaway from such programs. What kind of people did you interact with? Any interesting experience or exposure?
So every day we were sitting for the brainstorming sessions after class. The days were very interesting actually. So people used to have such diverse ideas, and since because of the background. So for example, I had one lady, like she was experienced business owner from Florida, and she was very much into organic farming. So me personally being from a city, and how like we have flats here. So I did not think like it would be a proper idea to do as a social welfare project. But she, like, since this was a suburb driven economy in Florida, so she mentioned like how it would help, like she brought the social aspect of this organic farming forward, and like which was something very new for me, and it actually opened my mind to new perspectives, and we decided to go forward with the idea. And our faculty like very much liked it, and we were told to work further on it.
Okay, so initially you got that different perspective which you thought that you would not get.
Yeah, usually I would have never thought like we can do like organic farming as a business consulting project, right? So
definitely, that's a great experience.
yeah.
So Anish, coming to the last and final question. So our viewers would be curious about the entire financial expenses that you had to bear throughout the entire immersion program. Could you give some idea about that?
So obviously finance will vary like for person to person, as well as the type of trip you're doing, the places you're seeing. But for me personally, so I only visited one more country, so I went to Germany. I had a few relatives staying there as well, and I saw like a few places in Germany. So I stayed 3-4 days in Germany, and other than that we went to Paris as well to explore and see whatever like Mona Lisa, Louvre, everything, like whatever we could cover. So after including everything, like I spent around, you could say, 1.5 lakh. Like this may change for a person. So for us, we had to pay actually a lot more, considerable amount more, because we were traveling during Olympics. So we had to pay almost 2 to 3 times more the airfare than it usually is. But otherwise, like you could say, like it's much cheaper than that. But it can also like it can be more. It depends. It totally depends on how much the person is, how much they want to roam around. And there are several other options, like you can get passes. You have URL passes, so that actually helps you ride on trains for for free, like for a limited amount of time, and you as a student, like international student, you'll get discount also. So a lot of people take those passes and roam around, but for me personally it was more like, you know, spending some time with my family, as well as attending classes, and of course roaming around with friends.
So you did mention that your particular immersion program was an attending one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So did you get the time to roam around since you went to Germany?
Yeah, so usually we had our weekends free. So I mostly we roamed around, like we try to cover the short distance places in the weekends, and during the evenings, of course, we used to go out, and you know, we used to go for shopping, or we used to do local sightseeing, and whatever German and all those things I did towards the end. So I extended my stay for a few days, so which actually helped me, you know, go and stay for few days with at my relative's place, and you know, enjoy, and then again come back.
So you were able to accommodate everything within the time schedule.
Yes, that is one benefit of going for a shorter period of time. Like you can be flexible if you are like extending, while you know, not spending extra amount for, you know, accommodation. Yeah.
And that's it, guys. We are wrapping up today's episode. Thank you, Anish. Thank you for taking time and
Thanks,
sharing your
Danny.
experience.
Thanks. Nice to talk with you.
So I think we must have addressed most of your doubt with respect to international immersion program. If you have any more doubts, feel free to comment in the comment section, and also you can approach Anish via the LinkedIn ID mentioned in the description box. And that's all. Thank you, guys.